Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Got a new Cardfight Vanguard video for you guys today. Now I know we've already featured Bavsargra on the channel with her new support, but anybody who's been to my streams knows that Bavsargra is my favorite deck in standard format, so you're gonna see a lot of her on the channel. Today we're talking about a couple new topics, and I want to talk to you guys about how we're refining the deck and jump into another game with the changes that we made. So if you guys want to see my original first draft of Bavsargra and a plenty effective build for the deck, link to that will be down in the description, but this is what we're here to talk about now. So we're talking about two main topics. First off, her old arms, are they worth playing? Second off, Bavsargra is 100% a going second deck. You get more pluses, you get access to more powers, your re-standard requires your point to be at grade 3. You want to go second with this deck because that's when you're going to maximize on your effectiveness. But coming in the next format and some of the current format, going second is the strongest for a lot of decks. Artisari gets access to lock. Stride decks want to go second. Obviously, the Bavsargra mirror match going second. There's even some decks in the current format with some of the destined ones, they want to go second. So, what do you do if you're forced to go first? Bavsargra loses her multi-attack. She loses a huge chunk of her power. You can't get triple drive, so what are your best options going first? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. If you guys enjoy this kind of video, want to see it with other decks, or want to keep seeing me cover Bavsargra, let me know down in the comments. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Let's jump in and get started. So, as you guys can see, first change we made is we cut down on Bavsargra. Bavsargra is a great card, but because this deck generates soul so slowly, it does kind of clash sometimes. There was a couple games where I was playing with it at 4 where I ran out of soul in the early games doing searches. So there were turns where, because I didn't have Persona, I wasn't able to actually use Bavsargra's skill. While the deck can play without the front row retire and the extra critical, that much pressure that you're losing does suck, especially on the Vanguard. You don't want to lose that. So ideally we want to be able to use her every single turn, not just to minus our opponent and get rid of intercepts, but to be able to maintain that crit pressure. So I still kept 2 copies of it in because it's the best search we have. I will never use Kangshadi again. That card is ridiculously overcosted. And we do still have a lot of targets for Bavsargra. We added in a spear and an axe. Oh, and Bracing Angel Ladder. We actually made room for a Regalis piece. Because you arm from the drop so much, there will be turns where you don't have to play an arm from hand. So you do have the chance to actually play a Regalis piece, unlike old Bavsargra where you were playing arms every single turn. Now, as far as Bavsargra's old arms, we have Spear and Axe. Spear is good because it is just a straight up draw 1, 10,000 to the Vanguard. It's simple, it's elegant. It also allows you to arm multiple times if you need to. Granted, that's jumping through a lot of hoops. The big thing is going first. I think the spear is a decent option because the sword is just going to give you 5k to the front row, which is nice, but it still shuts down your entire turn with 1 damage trigger. At least with the spear, you can still get a draw 1. Hammer, it's our only way to hit back row, and it feels nice to be able to hit a back row and then use a different skill to arm the sword. It's really, really easy to do. And Bavsargra keeps that 10k from the hammer. So if you arm the hammer, you get to pop a back row, give Bavsargra 10. If you then arm the sword, she now gets another 5k on top of the 10k she already got. So it actually combos pretty well. We don't depend on the hammer too much, but it is nice to have. The axe, however, is still a solid option because of the way the new shield works. So the axe, at the end of it, while it's equipped to Bavsargra, they have to guard her attack with at least 2 cards, so it's a good way to burn up extra cards. But at the end of turn, you can counterblast 1 to arm the shield from the drop. This shield, every time it's armed, it draws you an extra card. So you get to apply pressure, get your defensive or arm back on, and you get to draw an additional card at the end of every single turn, because it's really easy to loop the axe. The gun can be cute if you build around it, because obviously we have the grade 1 that cuts its cost down, but you'd have to make a whole different deck. Because the sword plus the gun means you could do 4 drive checks a turn. You'd be giving up a lot of defense and some power during your offense, because besides your well, I guess not really, because you have your multi attackers, but you would lose out on power from Varalord and power from Trick Moon. So I mean, like I said, if you build around it, the gun could be solid. because 4 drive checks a turn is crazy, especially with still having your crit pressure and multi-attack. And then the sword, the old sword is probably the only one I 100% say we're not gonna run ever. I can't think of a single reason to run that card with the way the deck plays now. Obviously, old shield's been replaced by a new shield. New shield just does what the old shield does, plus more. So that's how I feel about her old arms. For anybody that doesn't remember what the gun actually does. So the gun says you arm it with a Soul Blast 1. You can dodge that with skills. But when the unit armed with this card attacks, Counterblast 2, and the armed unit gets drive +1 until the end of battle. At the end of the battle, put this card into your drop. Counterblast 2 is crazy, and putting it into the drop at the end of battle is annoying because you can lose a lot of power off of certain cards. That being said, we do have this grade 1. Seal Break Dragon. If your Vanguard has an arms, put this unit into your soul. It is free soul because you do this for no cost. Choose a Sealed Blaze Sword Prithvi or a Sealed Blaze Gun Chandra from your Vanguard, and the cost of all the original auto abilities of that card are reduced by 1 counterblast. So it turns the gun into a 1 counterblast for a +1 drive. And then of course, the sword gives you +1 drive if your opponent's at grade 3. So you can get 4 drive checks a turn, which does sound crazy. But again, that's very niche, and you'd have to build the deck around that. Besides the 3 arms here, I don't see us playing any of the old arms unless you really want to be, that guy. But let's go take this into a game so you guys can see what happens when we go first. All right, guys, we got a game. We're going first. We're just gonna send our arms back, and we're probably gonna keep the rest. All right, not bad. Is this Orphis? All right, this hand is not terrible. All right, we're gonna drop Trick Moon. We're gonna ride, and then we're gonna go skill to search our shield. So now, this is going to give us a chance to really figure out what we're going to do going first, because obviously we're not going to have our triple drive. We're not going to have our multi-attack. We just want to go for as much draw and big numbers as possible. We're not going to guard this. We need at least 1 damage. All right, so it's Orphis Mask. Yumusha getting damage does suck. We're going to drop the shield to ride. Main phase, we're going to call Aplara, skill. Look at top 5. We're gonna hit nothing. That's fine. Battle phase, swinging. And swinging. Critical, nice. And then we're gonna end. The auto shuffle for this deck is for this game is a little weird, so I just try to shut it off. All right, so he's getting a Dragon Tree marker and searching a Mask of Hydreigon, even though he already has one. So he's gonna have 2 grade 3s in hand. We are probably gonna intercept with Aplar here because we'll be able to just call it back next turn. I would like 1 more attacker, so hopefully we can draw into 1. But we'll see. What is this thing? Energy Blast, take the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose up to 1 grade 3 order without 1 grade 3 card without Regalis Piece. All right, that's fine. We'll no guard this. Take that. All right. Ooh, that was a good top deck. All right, let's figure out what we're gonna do here. I can discard the sword. You know what? Wait, what am I saying? I'm gonna discard Cindy. Now we're gonna counterblast. We're gonna go through the deck. We're gonna dump the spear, and we're gonna dump the axe. And now we're gonna arm. We're probably gonna arm the shield. No, I want to arm that. Just because we're gonna be. Are we gonna miss some counterblast? No, we'll arm the spear. We'll arm the spear. Spear's effect, we're going to draw. Bavsargra's effect, we're going to energy charge 1. We're going to call a dude from the drop. We're actually going to call it here because we want the counter charge. Then we're going to energy blast 3. We're going to call Appalara, go plus 5k. And we're going to call Cindy. Bam. Bam, bam, bam. And now skill, we're going to counter charge. I'm actually going to put that over here because we're going to want her as an extra attacker. Then we're going to use Bavsargra's skill. Put this bad boy to the soul. We're going to arm the axe. And then we're going to use Bavsargra's other skill to soul blast to pop the front row. And then lastly, now I could move Cindy's soul. I could add the sword and equip the sword, but I think we'll be okay here. Because we're going to call another Trick Moon. And now this is going to get power plus 20k, power plus 20k, power plus 10k. So this is one of those examples where 5k doesn't make too big a difference. The only difference it would really make is making sure Appalara can hit even if our opponent gets a damage trigger. So now we're going to go battle phase. And we're going to swing 48 for 2. Okay, twin drive, first check, second check. All right, so our opponent is at 5. For some reason, the card for the crit is not showing up in the program. It's a little bit of a glitch with the program. So sorry about that, guys. But that's why they gained the plus 10k. So now we're swinging at 33, which is only a 1-card guard now because of the damage trigger. Or he could drop a PG. Works for me. All right, and now axe's skill at the end of turn. Drop the axe, arm the shield, and now the shield skill lets us draw an additional card. Sorry for the hoopla. I probably cut it out. So you guys know what's going on. Our opponent is at 5 damage. For whatever reason, there's a glitch where the crit, the second damage they took was a crit. That's why they had 20k power. The crit is not showing up on the screen, but they're at 5 damage right now. All right, we got Yugmashad, so we have 4 attacks next turn, and we have Varalord to double arm. So if Cindy lives through this turn, we'll probably move her to soul to grab sword. Well, we don't have another sword, so we'll probably just grab the sword and the axe, which would be nice. Or we use Cindy, grab sword, play Yugmashad, dump sword, draw 2, and then we'll see what we get from there. We also want to intercept with Appalara somewhere in here, so that way Appalara can go to the drop and we can call it back next turn. So the reason with Appalara, you want to use it as much as possible to keep sending it back to the drop, because it only gains its 5k when it's called from the drop by its skill. And we have 1 card in soul. So no matter what, we should be good to use all of our skills next turn. Now, I don't know how worth it the sword is. Like, that 1 extra card is nice, but is it worth it? I do like the axe though. The axe does feel good. It does feel like a good way to keep on forcing cards out of your opponent's hand. So let's see what we're going for here. 33, huh? We'll use the shield. We'll soul blast 1. That'll put us up to 33. And then we will intercept, which is everything we want to do. Now he's going to swing 35. We'll guard 43. We have 2 PGs, so we can eat the Vanguard, and unless he triple crits us, we should be fine. Then he pumps up all the tokens. Wait, he only called one column? Perhaps he didn't go for extra attacks. Oh, okay, because he's going to draw a card and make another token. I got you. And then he's going to give it 10k because he has 2 of these. 2, there's a crit. 3, okay, so 2 damage. 1, front trigger. 2. So we got 53 on one side and 65 on the other. So we're gonna have to hard guard regardless, because if I could drop 33 and that'll only put me to 53, so I'd be burning up extra cards. So we'll take that, and then we'll perfect guard that. All right, nice. I would like a Persona ride here, but we don't have one. Unfortunate. I don't know what it is about me and Persona rides with Bavsargra, but I can never see them. Like, there's 3 copies of it in the deck, and not like one didn't get damaged. I didn't burn up one. I didn't soul charge one by accident. I just didn't see it. It's all right. It's all right. I'm bitching for nothing. So let's do this right. So we're gonna start off with skill to the soul. We're gonna bounce back the sword. Then we're gonna call Yugmashad. Skill. Energy blast 3. Discard, draw 2. Gains 5k. Hey, look, I found my Persona ride, guys. I found my Persona ride. We're gonna use Bavsargra's skill. We're gonna put this to soul to arm the sword. Armor's gonna gain 5k. We're not gonna use Bavsargra's skill just yet, but power plus 5. Power plus 5. We're going to reveal. I just put equip by accident. Where do you go? We're gonna call 1, 2, 3, and he gains 5k power. Maybe I should have swapped them, but it's okay. He actually gains another 5k power. Now we're gonna use Bavsargra's skill. We're gonna soul blast 2. Boop, boop. Crit. Retire front row. Now we're gonna counterblast 1. We're gonna overdress. I definitely should have called these differently. I should have called this over here, over the Epilar, because I would have overdressed on the side. So that way when I swing with this first column, I can give my whole front row the front 10k for the rest of the turn. That was a misplay. That was a definite misplay. So I could equip the spear here and get an extra draw, but instead I'm gonna move this to the soul, and I'm gonna equip the axe again. All right, let's go battle phase. This was a misplay, so if he lives this turn, that's my fault. Okay. Swing, skill. 10k to the front row. 2 cards to guard. Remember, our opponent is at 5 damage. All right, so triple drive because of the sword. 1, 2, 3. Critical. I guess we'll go here since he's already... Well, he's at 5, so it really don't matter. And then skill. Counterblast, stand, and then we go power plus 20k. 65 for 2. He had the PG. He had the PG, and then 30k. And he didn't even say good game, he just left. But as you got to see, we could still maintain advantage and pressure going first, even though we didn't really have as much push as we wanted. All right, guys, one more look at the deck. This, like I said, is just our first experiment with what we would do going first. We know the gameplay going second. Difstia gains a bunch of extra power. We have Yugmashad for extra attack. We get to search our sword and shield in the early game. We know what we're doing going second. We got to figure out what we're going first. I want this deck to be as powerful as possible as soon as it comes out. So let me know what you guys are trying out. Let me know how your experiments have gone, and keep an eye out for more Bavsargra videos. And if you guys want to see what options are available for other decks going first and second, let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to try and build with those decks, and we can definitely try those on stream. If you guys want to see me play some Cardfight Vanguard live, come by the stream. This week coming will be Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and of course, I would love to have you guys. That is it from me. I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.